If you're new to my channel, make sure to like and subscribe to continue receiving great reviews. Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of our funnel chat where we do member spotlights with entrepreneurs out there that are making it happen. We only have the dopest entrepreneurs on our show. That means the best, right? So today, you're going to love my special guest that I have on today, because I've got a musician, a producer, and a teacher that I met recently at our 2 Comma Club Live 3-day virtual event. We met in one of the breakout rooms, and after hearing his story, I said, I've got to talk to him on my show. I'd like to bring on Mr. Harold Anderson, everyone.
Greetings. Nice to be here.
Now, Harold, start us off by giving us an introduction about who you are and what you do.
Tell
us your story.
Well, let me tell you, going back to November of last year, I was a circulation coordinator for a local newspaper in the town I was living in.
Okay.
And it became apparent that working for a living was not meant to be for me. So I retired, resigned from the company, and spent 2 months lying on my couch in a fetal position, wondering, oh God, what have I done? And what am I going to do now?
Wow.
And fortunately, I had some money saved up, and on January 1st, I had all my credit cards were at zero. My rent was paid. I had a full tank of gas in the car. Everything was flatline zero. January 3rd comes along, and I find out about Clickfunnels.
Really?
Well, I have been involved in multi-level marketing and various opportunities throughout my existence. And I recognized the value of what was being offered. And all of a sudden, there's that knowing that comes upon you from time to time. And I knew that this was the direction. After 2 months of going, oh God, what am I going to do? This was what I was supposed to do. So I threw everything into the pot and got my platinum account and began learning about funnels, learning about myself in the process, because I had no product, no direction, really, starting from ground zero.
So let me ask, how did you find out about Clickfunnels?
There's a program out there called Doodly, which Russell is involved in.
Yes.
And, for $67, you can have a lifetime, subscription to this beautiful little program. And I used to draw comics back in grade school, I consider myself to have a bit of a sense of humor. And I thought, well, this would be nice. And I could make some videos and put them on YouTube. And who knows, maybe I could do something like that. But of course, the funnel happened.
Yes.
And from $67, it went to this. And oh, by the way, here's this thing called Clickfunnels. And I began clicking and reading and watching Russell's introductory videos. And like I said, it came upon me that this is what I've been waiting for these 2 months. And I just went all in, and I joined the OFA, the One Funnel Away Challenge, the 30-day challenge. And began to learn about funnels, Clickfunnels, and the tremendous support that Clickfunnels provides for anyone getting started, or even veterans. Any questions you have, the support is there. And that was the one thing that I've never found in any other opportunity that I've taken a hold of, is that the support just wasn't there. Not so with Clickfunnels. They are number one.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I got into it. And as the OFA progressed, I began to, juggling many things, such as what's my product? And it came to me about halfway through that I am the product.
Wow. Wow. That's really deep. I tell you, the Russell Brunson does such a great job of marketing. But I think what he does is he sets an example for us, and he shows us how it's done. And it's funny because I talk with people in the community all the time, and what he does is he tells us what to do as he is doing it to us. And we learn
That's
firsthand,
it.
and we
Funnel
see.
hack ClickFunnels.
Yes, yeah, and we see, and it's funny that you talk about Doodly, and you'll hear him talk about Doodly on and we know he's involved with so many other ventures, and a lot of people will say things about ClickFunnels, and the one thing that other companies out there cannot compete with ClickFunnels, and that is the community. And you talked
Absolutely.
about that. And
Yeah.
and they can talk about how, and not only the community, but ClickFunnels truly is the best software out there with the best options. And that's their unique selling proposition, is no one can top the community. And when it comes to starting an online business, and you going out here in a sea of unknown, to have some support around you is absolutely invaluable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the more I learn about ClickFunnels, the more amazed I am at its diversity and how they really thought this thing out. And of course, when you look back at Russell's history, how he started at 13 years old with his, bulk mail projects,
It's
that there's somebody at the helm who has worked his way up to this point where he can teach us. Because as a teacher, I know you can't teach anybody anything you don't know. You can't give anybody anything you don't have to give. So I put my faith and my trust in Russell, and what he says, I do, just because of the road that he took to get here.
Are you enjoying this video? Now's the time to smash that heart button and hit the subscribe. What are you waiting for? You'll be glad you did. Now back to the video. So tell us, you mentioned that where we've come from. So let's ask, since you've gone through the One Funnel Away Challenge, I think you have now established that you are the product that you'll be selling. So tell us where you started, and where you're going now with the training that you've gotten from the One Funnel Away Challenge. I think you started back in the 70s as an instructor yourself.
I started teaching in a local music store in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I went into business for myself, and I would go to people's homes. I put an ad in a publication in Vancouver called the Georgia Straight. And I began going to people's homes and giving them, I'm a bass player by trade, although I'm a singer-songwriter, but I was teaching bass in those days. And I would give an hour lesson, and I learned over at least 1,000 in-home lessons. I learned various techniques and methods of teaching face-to-face. It's one thing to take an online course where someone says, okay, put your finger here, put your finger here, but they don't really have the time. If a student has a question, how can you get that off an online taped presentation? So I'm incorporating in my whole bundle, an opportunity to do one-on-ones, webinars, live webinars. But at first, I developed a system whereby the preparation of the hands, even for a practice session, is absolutely paramount. And I learned that by doing certain exercises that are contained in my course, you can take an hour off of your practice time. Now, the most valuable thing that anybody has is their time.
Whoa,
so
yes.
if you can shave an hour off your practice time with 5 minutes preparation, you're so way ahead of the game. So I've incorporated that into my program. The actual framework of the program is still being developed, but it's on its way, and I have the components. I just have to implement them into the funnel.
Can you give us a sneak peek about the hand exercises?
Okay, wow, we got 10 fingers or 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. And the number one issue that a musician faces is cramps. If you're doing repetitive motions over and over again, and let me tell you, I know about cramps, and I also know about bloody fingers. So you got to know when to stop, and you've got to be able to tell where your cap is, so to speak. But for example, okay, this is the first time I'm even doing this.
Okay.
Your fingers, they go this way, sideways. I do that for all the fingers.
Okay, okay.
I'm giving away my course here. The second one is they go frontwards and backwards, just like as a gymnast, you do the splits, right? Forward, backwards. And they also rotate. So what you're doing, and you do this with the thumb as well, and all the fingers on both hands. Okay, there's a condensed version of it. And I found that by doing this, and it takes less than 5 minutes if you do it correctly, you shave an hour off of your practice time. Now, most people, I eventually worked my way up to where I was charging $50 an hour for a lesson. But I give this for 5 minutes and they've got it, and now it's theirs and they can do it. It takes 5 minutes. So they do that before I show up for the lesson. Now we got to devote the whole time on a higher level.
So you're actually teaching them and you're saving them at the same time.
Yes.
Because you don't want to spend all the time on
exercises that they can do prior to the lesson or prior to their practice time, because number one excuse people have is, I don't have time. Well, if I can save you an hour and you do 15 minutes, well, you're just that much farther ahead of the game. And yes, there are people who do, various stretching exercises in their regimen, but none quite. I haven't seen anybody do the detailed digits stretching that I do.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Save them time, and time is money, and time is very valuable.
And that's just a sample of what's in your course. But if they want the full effect, then they're going to have to get your course. I'd like to know a little bit more about, because I know we don't have a lot of time on this call. So I have so many more questions I want to ask, but we'll leave your contact information around the video. So if anyone wants to get any further information from you, okay? And so we're going to, because I just love the idea of you being an instructor for so many years and doing it, what we'll say is now the old-fashioned way, but coming into the new online way of funnel buildings. Can you tell us a little bit about the direction you want to take your company, your teaching, your producing?
Well, that's a really good question. And I'm trying to maybe model Russell Brunson's philosophy of building a tribe, building a select few people who are going to become part of a community that has this foundation of practicing under their belt. So they too, should they so choose, go out and pass on what it is that I have to impart to them. Now, my musical education goes back to, as I said earlier, to the moment that I was born. My father was a very high level player, and I have been exposed to the live music world from the time I was in my mother's womb. My dad's friends were all musicians, so I associated with some very high, well-known, famous people. And if I can go as far as to say, I had my first shot of whiskey administered at 2 years old by none other than Cab Calloway.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's a story in itself. However, what I'm saying is that I have become a musician, a teacher, and a person who has gifts to impart through my teaching process and through association. And, I intend to build my funnel with perhaps an inner circle, weekly webinars, one-on-one training. So it's still in process of development, but it's very much in motion. I have momentum.
Yes, and I have no doubt that you will actually create this tribe of musicians that are practicing and perfecting their skill. Awesome, congratulations. And we just have a short while left. So in parting, I just want you to go ahead and let everyone know how they can reach out to you if they want to get more information.
Well, I have a email that's set up right now. My website will be www.iammusiccan.com. So that's musician without the I.
Okay.
And that's short for IAM Music Canada. And the IAM stands for Inspired Artists and Musicians, because I consider myself to be inspired, and I'm totally inspired to do this. So
awesome.
You can do that. I have support at iammusiccan.com.
And you can find you on Facebook as well. All right.
I also have IAM Music Canada on Facebook. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll make sure to leave all that contact information down below. Thanks for tuning in today. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
If you're just starting out online, you're probably studying a lot. That's great. You're probably geeking out on all the strategies also, right? Well, that's also great. But the hardest part is figuring out how to communicate in a way that makes someone want to buy from you and how you should sell to them, right? Well, that's also what I struggled with for a while until I found the formula. So I created this free 5-day challenge called the Make More Money Marketing Challenge to get you on track with your marketing and, more importantly, the right sales scripts and processes to get it off the ground and getting people to take you up on your products, services, and your opportunities. You want to come? Well, there's small groups on purpose so I can answer your direct questions for 5 straight days. You can hold your spot by going to www.thementalmarketer.com/4M challenge sign up. Again, that's thementalmarketer.com/4M challenge sign up. Check the site for dates and times. I'll see you on the inside.